Yo, 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 what's poppin'? All my peeps. It is I, your host with the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can, and champion of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back for another Smackdown breakdown brought to you by Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And you can't take no nights off without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sarah Marshall. What's poppin', girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
All right, and scene. Are we not streaming on Twitch?
On Twitter.
I mean Twitter.
I
That's what
know.
meant.
I don't know. I don't know why.
I had to. Sorry, I had to break the fourth wall here. What the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
We have to have a premium account.
That is insane. That's so ridiculous that they just did that. Wow.
Yo, to the actual people who are on YouTube. So
Wow.
Sorry for the genuine reactions. Actually, I'm not sorry. Why am I apologizing? You're right, Nance. I don't get it. What the hell, Sarah? Like, what? I had a whole opening spiel about my day and how I love putting a smile on people's faces because of things, but now my smile went away because of this bullshit.
Yeah, that's insane. Man.
Okay.
That irritates me so bad.
Yeah, like it doesn't, but then there's like a twitch in my brain that is like can't not look at it. You know what I mean? Like it's really peeving me off. So scratch that. Yeah, I don't. We're just we're gonna we'll remove save changes. All right. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, this is getting a little off, but you know
All right.
what?
Anyway, Smackdown.
Yay!
Yay, Smackdown.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, we pivot back into SmackDown because, as one of our peeps said, Mr. Anderson, what's poppin'? SmackDown was good, can't lie. And obviously, I can't lie. I got to say hi to our dude Bernard as well. But no, back to this. Mr. Anderson, you're right. SmackDown was good. You can't lie. And I'm glad that I went back today and watched the entire thing. Sometimes I play my game and we check in for the second watch. But today I was like, screw it. I want to watch the entire thing. And I'm glad I did because back to what we're saying, Sarah, to the continuity of these shows.
Mm-hmm.
A little preview of what we'll bring up already, but they brought in the Chelsea Green segment at the start of the first match. And then it ended right before the last match into the main event of Cody and Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it makes watching the product so much easier. And not as in following it, but in the wanting to. For a while, you'd go and watch and be like, all right, what time is it? Like, oh my gosh, we're only in the first hour and 10 minutes of Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Now you look at the clock and you're like, holy shit, it's 10:30. Like, because you're just so invested.
Mm-hmm.
And props to them, not only for just doing it in general, but making SmackDown just as important as Raw with these changes. And I think they're even going a little bit over the line. They're kind of being a guinea pig in their own way for Raw because that's the flagship show.
I feel like it's becoming more and more clear that SmackDown needs to be 3 hours.
That brings up but because of these production changes, you're saying.
Yeah, and I think the quality of the roster in general, like between Raw, SmackDown, NXT, I feel like they're going to run into the inevitable problem of having too much talent and not enough time to showcase them. And I would hate for that to happen because of the people that would end up being victims of that. You know what I mean? Where they wouldn't be on every single week because, well, they're not Randy Orton, they're not Cody Rhodes, they're not Roman Reigns, you know what I mean? And but it's like the rosters are so stacked that I think SmackDown deserves to have another hour to have more people on every week, because Raw features it's like weekly, it's almost their entire roster, it feels like, like. And on SmackDown, you're sitting there wondering, okay, are we going to see these people, or is this person going to be on tonight? What about this tag team? And it's like every other week you're seeing this person, and then you don't see them again for another month, and it's because they just don't have enough time. And I think on SmackDown they really need to think about doing that even before what I think is the inevitable move to Netflix. But
Yeah, with Netflix is going to be a whole different ball game. I have a feeling that we're going to see more than one show have a time change.
well, I
Like
think they need to
I
have
think they could
SmackDown on
go.
Netflix as well eventually.
It's going to. Once that happens, I'm saying, like, if you're gonna make that move to SmackDown as well and have both of your main rosters on Netflix, you shouldn't have a time. Honestly, I think 3 hours is the limit. But I know how some shows go over
Yeah.
by 10 minutes. All
Like they
right,
used to during the Attitude
like they
Era when the
used
shows
to.
were over at like 11:08.
Yeah, but you can't have that with USA, as we saw last week. I mean, it was so little, but to the wrestling fan, that little action of her, walking out of the ring, him following her, that makes a difference, to
Or
me.
remember, no one except for people in like
No one
Europe
saw
got
the
to see,
kiss.
yeah, Dominic and Liv. I know, so that's what I'm saying. It's like I get why they don't do it. But I do think that there are times where, yeah, it would be nice if you went over a couple minutes, or on SmackDown, it would be nice if you could have
Exactly.
an extra hour, especially because of there have been instances with the bloodline even where it's like the show ends and you're like, huh? Like that was the end? Like they were running over, so you didn't get to see the end. I'm like, yeah, it would have been
It's
good if you
so
had another
good.
hour.
Yes, like exactly. Like that's what it's getting so good that you are telling the fans are telling you that they want more when you're already giving them, I would say, 5 times as much as you're used to now with all the different ways you can put your content out there. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane. And it's only getting better. It really is. Like I was yelling down here at some portions, which we'll get into. And it's just so nice to see. I can't stress that enough. It really puts a smile on my face, Sarah. So let's talk about the topics that put a smile on my face. Damn right, she puts a smile on my face, girl.
Calm down.
It's always
Um
this watch. It's set
so
to Tiffy time.
yeah, so SmackDown is kicked off
Yeah.
by Tiffany Stratton, who was introduced for the first time as the winner of the Women's Money in the Bank. She is Miss Money in the Bank 2024, and she lets us know a few times that she is the youngest winner in history, which is what, 5 years or something like that. Is like they've been doing Money in the Bank, but still, she's 25, so she's just a little baby. So she just comes out to put the entire women's division on notice, including Roxanne Perez, who is the NXT Women's Champion. So she calls them all out, which prompts Bayley to come out, and she was out there claiming to want to give Tiffany a little bit of advice about, being Miss Money in the Bank and how you should approach being Miss Money in the Bank, blah, blah, blah. Tiffany just does not care. Okay. She just doesn't care. Eventually, we see Nia Jax come out because we know that her and Tiffany have become besties. And Nia goes right after Bayley because she's like, why are you even focusing on Tiffany right now? Because you have me at SummerSlam in 3 weeks. So your focus should really be about how you're going to try and beat me. And Bayley just mentions, like, yeah, you have had my number before. Like, let's not forget about what you did to me in 2017, where you put me on the shelf for 3 months, but that's not me anymore. I'm not the hugger, blah, blah, blah. Which Nia shoots back, yeah, you look like you're a BBL Bailey now. And I was like,
She
girl,
is. She is.
that is all natural. That is natural Bailey beef. Okay, that is not BBL Bailey beef.
Natural Bailey beef is.
Yeah, she got beefy booty. She got a beefy booty. So
I don't.
yeah, eventually,
I
this
don't
is
know, man.
what did I
No,
say?
keep going.
Oh.
No, I'm reading a comment. I'm sorry.
Oh, you have to control your ADD. What? Oh, what is a BBL? A BBL is I forget what it stands for, but it's basically
big booty Latina.
No, that's not what it is. Are you serious? It's a surgery.
Wait,
Okay.
it is?
Yeah, she was talking about
Wait.
about Bailey getting a BBL. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's a surgery where they take fat from like your belly or whatever, you have extra fat, and they put it in your ass to give you a bigger butt. It's like it's really common right now. It is a plastic surgery that has jumped in the popularity over the last year or two. It's actually, you can wait. It's actually really risky. Some influencers have actually died from getting BBLs. So, but yeah, no, because people talk about Big Booty Bailey, that is why Nia said, "Did you get a BBL?" But anyway, so eventually we get to Nia Jax versus Michin. And first of all, before even talking about what happens at the end, this match was rough for 75%. And I'm going to say it was Nia, because Michin has been absolutely killing it in matches in NXT and on SmackDown, wherever she's been. She's been having killer matches. This was just kind of awkward to watch for the most part. I don't know if you felt that way too, but it was just
fine.
It was
I thought
rough.
the ending was done well. Like the ending was the finish, if you want to call it, like that was done well and sold.
Well,
And
that's the 25% that I think was okay. I think the rest.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I thought it was all right. Like Michin showed that she can hang. The problem is with those styles is when you have they don't mix well. It doesn't matter if it's Nia Jax, Michin, or I can't think of another big.
Yeah, I think they just didn't have chemistry really in the ring. And until we saw Tiffany get involved with the kendo stick,
really well.
and
I thought that was done really well.
Yeah, until we saw that happen, and then obviously Nia squash Michin. That was a good ending, but the rest of it I would say was a little bit rough. But yeah, and then at the end we see that Tiffany and Nia beat up Bailey, and Tiffany considers, which you knew it was coming. You could tell that she was like trying to get Nia out of the ring. And she considered cashing in on Bailey because Bailey was down and out, courtesy of her and Nia. And before she could officially cash in, Nia came in and looked at her like, "Girl, what are you doing? What are you thinking about right now?" Yeah, it was. That's when she like I don't know, she rethought her life choices, which I do think that was fair game for Bailey to bring up, because this new partnership between Nia and Tiffany is great, but it's gonna get weird real quick, because after SummerSlam, if Nia does not win the championship, how is it going to be between her and Tiffany, with Tiffany having the Money in the Bank briefcase? Like, things are gonna get weird there.
Yeah, I'm such a big fan of Nia right now and what she's doing. I've done a complete 180 on Nia Jax.
I know.
To the point where I'm so excited for her when she is a champion. Like the way she conducts herself as a heel, coming down, the crowd interaction, and then just the dominant force in the ring, to the point where I actually believe she's improved very much. And the whole angle with the bonsai drop, like I just am waiting for her to be a part of the bloodline somehow.
That's not happening.
I know it's not, but like, do you see where like she's in that main event picture for the women's division?
I just wonder when they'll make her champion, because this is what, like, this is going to be like the third time that she's having a women's championship match, and if she doesn't win, it's like, okay, how many more times is she going to be put in that position and not win, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's not a great look to be put in match after match after match for the title and you don't win. But
yeah.
I think that she has the chance to beat Bayley. I just don't know that it's going to happen at SummerSlam, because of like how long EO had held the SmackDown Women's Championship before Bayley winning. So it was a big deal when Bayley won. I just don't know if they want to have Bayley lose the title like 4 months after having it. But I don't know. Bayley is kind of like in a weird spot, I feel like, because since she is now officially separated from Damage Control, I feel like they don't really have anything for her. That's just kind of how it feels. Like they don't really know what to do, because they had just kept putting her against Damage Control. So it's like, okay, yeah, you have Nia because Nia won Queen of the Ring, but what happens after that? That's why it's like I could almost see Nia winning because she was Queen of the Ring, because then she would have, you know, rematches with Bayley, because she would then have some sort of weirdness with Tiffany Stratton. Like it seems like there's more avenues for them to explore with her being champion than Bayley. But I guess, you know, anything can happen between now and whenever. I don't know.
It's, to me, you have to put the belt on Nia now. I'm on that side. I'm leaning towards that. Nia should win at SummerSlam, because she, you know, Nia should win at SummerSlam because of the tension that her and Tiffany have together. You know, I could see that.
Yeah, I think that it's going to have to be something that's like heavily considered, simply just because of you want to make sure that the women's title on SmackDown is still relevant and like hot. And it's nothing against Bayley, but they're not doing a whole lot right now, because you're not going to have Bayley go against Naomi again. You're not going to have her go against Jade or Bianca again, because they're trying to keep them together. And you know, I feel like they try to put heels against heels more so than they put baby faces against baby faces.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's more options for a heel champion right now, but we'll see, because I can't imagine that they're going to want both the King and the Queen of the Ring winners lose at SummerSlam. But
yeah, that's the thing. And Bayley doesn't need the championship right now.
Not necessarily. But then at the same time, do you think that they would have both King and Queen of the Ring champion or winners become champions at SummerSlam? Can you see Gunther and Nia winning?
Yes, to legitimize King of the Ring.
I kind of feel like Gunther's not winning, but that's a topic for another day. Okay, so Will says, did y'all see Blair Davenport talking to Isla Dawn in the background? I think we are getting a new women's trio. I am here for it. Absolutely here for it. I did not see it. Also, thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it. I did not see this. I was trying to pay attention to the background, but I tend to miss things because I'll look away and then I miss it. But at this point, I don't know that I really care about what they're doing with Blair. I just want her on TV. Because again, I don't want her to be someone who gets called up from NXT and is completely wasted on SmackDown. There's no reason for it.
There's no way. And after last night, I can absolutely see Blair Davenport being in some sort of, if it's not a title match, it's a big feud that would lead to her becoming in the championship picture.
Yeah. John Cena is not turning heel, Nathaniel. I'm sorry. He's not. He's not at this point in his career. There's no point.
No.
Yeah, that's not happening. Mr. Anderson says, I'm honestly glad Tiffany didn't cash in last night. It would have been too early. Yeah, I think she needs to hold it for a while. I also don't know that cashing in on Bayley is the right one. What if she cashes in on Nia? We'll see.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm alluding to, though. that for Nia to win, and then it builds that tension of, does Tiffany cash in on Nia?
Mm.
You see what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's the real tension that's going on there. Because Bailey can go feud with another, like a Blair Davenport or something, and that would
Yeah.
be more beneficial for both parties than having, Bailey be in this limbo with the title right now. No, the title needs to be in a way, or be in a feud that kind of has to have some bad blood. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
leave it there.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, then we see the triumphant return of Baron Corbin to SmackDown. And although the crowd was fairly quiet during his entrance, it was a tag team match. So he was paired up with Apollo Crews, and they took on Angel and Berto, which apparently they're just going by those names now. We don't have first and last names, and we're not Humberto anymore. We're just Berto. And this was a good match. I feel like this, I mean, I get what they're trying to do with Legado del Fantasma. It's not really working, but they're trying. And so I think this match was mainly to try and feature them, obviously, but it also seemed like their way of reintroducing Baron Corbin as like a tag team wrestler, because I think that he's been separated long enough from Braun Breaker when they were NXT tag champions that people may have forgotten by now. And I don't hate this. I feel like this is almost one of the options when we've talked about them trying to figure out a way to get Baron Corbin to be used and to get over and for people to be interested in him. This was one aspect that I feel like we haven't talked about, which was him being a tag team wrestler instead of just being a guy on his own. And I don't know that he could never be a guy on his own. Obviously, it hasn't worked too well on the main roster. Because it did in NXT, but a lot worse in NXT and doesn't work on the main roster. But he's thriving as a tag team wrestler, and people were really into this match. Even if they hated the end because Legado won, they were really excited seeing Corbin like suicide diving and whatever, like a lot more into it than I anticipated, honestly.
I think a lot of people are a lot more invested in Baron Corbin now since he had that resurgence in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like him in a tag team, it makes the most sense right now. You do make a good point there, and but it needs to be someone that he can bounce off of. Like they bounce off each other really well. The whole Madcap Moss thing, or Happy, what was it? What was it? Was Madcap? No, it was Madcap.
Yes.
Was his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
So when him, that was great because you're trying to get him over as a singles guy, and he needs a funny jokesman, a sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now if he's just in a tag team, like they're both equal, they both can, you know what I mean? They both can fight. So and at his stage of his career, he would probably rather be a tag team and only have these, selected moments of in the ring one week, backstage next week, So I do like it. I like him in his role now, and I think he's having the most fun. He's having the most fun in this role. Has to be.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I think that he probably still does have some sort of like desire to be a singles champion and whatever, but um I think that if they can kind of establish him more as a tag team guy and get people to cheer for him, boo for him, whatever they're trying to do in a tag team capacity, then they would have a better chance at getting him to be over as a singles guy. So I think that it's just going to take some time. But I feel like Baron Corbin kind of runs into the same issue that they have with Karrion Kross. Like they have the look, they have the in-ring skills, they have the you know the promo abilities, like they have like everything. It's just always a personality issue. It's like that it's just like not clicking with the audience no matter what they do. So if we're comparing Carrion to Baron, it's like they have both struggled and it still hasn't hit yet on the main roster. So I'm curious to see how far they're going to go with Baron in the tag team division, and if it's going to be him and Apollo Crews or if this was just like a one-off. But I don't think it's a bad idea at all.
And just to elevate Legato. You know, they needed the win on this show more than anyone to establish that they're dominant. I just think they're goofy. You know, like I just think they're
Legato.
little. Yeah, like they're just the goofy villains, but they're legit. Like they're good in the ring. I'm not trying to discredit them. All right, I'm just saying like I look at the outfits, like Electra Lopez's outfit. Like, what are we doing? All right, like
It's
that's
the thing.
ridiculous. The tongue and the stare down into the camera. Like, dude, I feel dirty just looking at you.
I think
That's
sometimes it just comes off like you're trying too hard. That's what it is. And the outfits that a lot of the women wear, I don't understand because it's like the outfits when you're watching. I'm gonna wait. Why are you texting, Pat?
Work.
It's 7:38. They shouldn't be.
Yeah,
texting.
and I shouldn't be, but when you're 86, you're 86.
What's 86?
Restaurant. It's restaurant jargon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not on.
Sorry, yeah, that's
not
what I'm
on your
saying.
level.
I'm trying to manage both worlds here, and I'm listening, but I got breathing down. You already called me. I'm trying not to. Sorry, I'm trying
Anyway.
to listen because I like this conversation. Continue.
A lot of the women's outfits just remind me of when you're watching NBA players show up to their game and they have like these ridiculous
True.
outfits on, and it's like, you guys don't wear that. You don't wear
No, you
that. So
don't.
why are we trying so hard? Like, feel free to wear normal stuff. Like, it's okay to wear a pair of jeans and a t-shirt. You do not have to be wearing a bedazzled onesie outfit that makes it look like you're half naked. Like, we don't have to do that. But whatever.
It wasn't even the half naked to me. You know, it was just like the fact
outfit.
that it felt like a giant onesie, but including the hands with the gloves. It's just like,
no, the glove thing is weird. I don't.
The glove thing freaked me out.
That thing is weird. I don't understand that
out.
part of fashion. I don't think that's fashion. You look stupid. Like, that's just what it is. But anyway.
Exactly.
We saw a nice little interview somewhat between Andrade and Byron Saxton, and they were discussing obviously Andrade's incredible performance at Money in the Bank, which I don't think anybody was shocked about. This man would be
what?
He should be in every Money in the Bank. He should be in every ladder match. There's no reason not to have him in every ladder match. So of course he stole the show. We knew that was going to happen. And so they were talking about that, and I guess Carmelo Hayes was not into it because, of course, he felt like he had the best performance in Money in the Bank, despite the fact that he also lost. So he decided that he wanted to be part of this interview and was like, hey, Byron, you should not be talking to him. You should be talking to me. I'm the MVP, not him, blah, blah, blah. And Andrade's confused. He's like, I never said I was the MVP. Like, I never said any of that. That's what the people are saying. And it's like, yeah, I think we should listen to what the fans are saying, Melo. Okay, you sit this one out, brother. And so Andrade kind of tries to ignore him and goes to Byron and is like, okay, what was the question? And Byron said, what is next for Andrade? And Andrade says, he is. So
No.
He's next. What?
It's just the way he said it. It was specific to. He said him.
Okay, whatever.
Going off of Melo's him. It was brilliant.
Cool.
Details matter, Sara.
Anyway, so I'm excited because Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes is I think it's like the best pairing for the both of them because we need Melo to establish himself more as a SmackDown talent. And going against a guy like Andrade that can definitely hang with him in the ring because obviously we know that Melo is all over the place in a good way. But Andrade also needs to, I mean, I don't feel like he needs to be legitimized or anything. I don't feel that he really needs it in the same way that Melo does because people know who Andrade is. It's like he's been here before, but the fans don't react to him the way that they should, in my opinion. Andrade is sick. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I'm not saying he's one of my all-time favorites or anything, but holy hell.
But you know ball.
I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I was so pissed that he got literally no reaction at Money in the Bank. I'm like, guys, like, now you guys are sitting there being like, he was the MVP. Shut up. You had no expectations for him when he came out, okay? You were not looking forward to anything that he was going to do in that match, but now you want to pretend like you were really happy with what he did? Like, boy, bye. Okay, bye bye.
So funny.
So
Me,
I'm excited. I think that this is going to be a great matchup for however long it goes.
I'm very excited for this because it will, what kind of what you said, legitimize Andrade, but it's going to give the wrestling fans a little taste of what's outside of WWE. Like they have that style because both of them have wrestled outside of WWE, made
Mm-hmm.
a name for themselves, and the fans that are WWE fans, there's a difference, and you're going to expose them to what wrestling fans watch on a daily basis. That's what this is all building up to, and those matches are going to blow people away to the point where they're like, have you seen him? And then doing exactly what you just did, like,
Mm-hmm.
hello,
Yeah, as long
you've
as
been
they get
sitting on the
time.
bus a long time.
Yeah, as long as they get time, which it feels like these types of matchups that you feel like could headline an NXT, basically like an NXT PLE, they have been getting time. You know, like we saw Ilya versus Braun Breaker got time. A few of Ilya's matches have gotten a lot of time. Ludwig Kaiser matches have gotten some good time. So I think when you consider, you know, I you could kind of put a lot of those guys in the same bucket with like the type of matches that they put on. You expect them to be a certain way, and they almost always are that way. They always deliver. I could see the same being said about Carmelo versus Andrade. So as long as they have the time to put on a killer match, people are going to be like, oh wait, okay, kind of like what people eventually saw in Ricochet. Like Ricochet had established himself clearly, obviously, outside of WWE. That's why he was a huge signing to the Black and Gold era of NXT. And then people didn't really understand just how good he really was until they started putting him on Raw like every single week. Wasn't necessarily winning every single week, but he was getting time. So people finally realized, like, oh, okay, this guy is really good. I want to see that for Andrade as well, because and you feel bad in a way because he was here before, wasn't used correctly, left for however many years, comes back, and then it's like, okay, you want to see it be better for him this time around, because it would just be a shame for him to suffer the same fate again in his second run. You know, like I
It
would
would
love for
suck.
him to
I would.
thrive at some point.
I can
So
thrive it. I can see him
um
thrive it. I can see him thrive it.
anyway, Mr. Anderson says that he does not remember Carmelo Hayes's moment. I think he mostly had moments that involved other people. Like I think it was him and
His,
Andrade. Um,
mhm.
I think other people's moments stood out, and I don't think that the men's Money in the Bank ladder match was actually, it wasn't that long. I
No,
felt
that
like
one was like, no, that one was because you know what it was? It was pretty cut and dry
it felt like
story.
neither of the ladder matches were very long this year, which I was kind of bummed about because, like, I mean, Tiffany looked like she hadn't even been in a match when she won. Like she's sitting at the top of the ladder with a briefcase, like looking beautiful, like barely sweaty, like her hair is in place, like makeup looks great, you know? And I'm like, I want to see you look a little more fucked up. You know what I mean? Because then it's like, oh, you fought. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I think Carmelo had a
I thought
couple.
the women's one was
The
long, but
women's the women's are always better.
I thought it was long.
I'm just, you know. Byron says, give Andrade his own faction.
Ooh.
I would say, what does Mr. Anderson says, like, who would you put him with? I mean, I'm not mad at that idea, but I kind of want to. I just get a little bit nervous because they tend to put guys like him in factions with, like, you know, Legato or LWO, and it's like we don't need another like LWO
We
Legato group
don't.
because they're
We don't.
already like not being used in interesting ways anyway. So I would rather Andrade, like, he can maybe have guys that are like his friends or like that chill with him or whatever, but like I don't.
Alliances.
Yeah, but like I think that he's good enough on his own that he doesn't need to
Yeah.
rely on like that, you know. All right, then we
I know you
see
want.
a backstage moment between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. They're discussing their issues with the Bloodline 2.0, and Randy is like, "Hey, you know, you have a lot going on with the Bloodline, but this really needs to come to an end at some point because this is becoming too much." they took out Kevin, but Kevin has to spend time with his family. But once this is all said and done, when your match is over with Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam, which we believe that you're going to win, people are going to be coming for that title. And Randy makes it very obvious that he is going to be one of those guys that is going to be coming after the WWE Championship, which got a lot of people excited because people have been saying, we want Randy versus Cody. We want Randy versus Cody. And I'm going to become a little gatekeepy, okay?
Oh, why would you do that, Sarah? Why you can be a gatekeeper?
None of you were around for
You know.
Legacy. So let's stop acting like you've wanted to see this for so long because of their history. You were not a fan of Legacy. You were not a fan of Cody Rhodes 17 years ago. Stop.
Who knows? Why?
Stop. 95% of the people that are like, oh my God, I want to see this. It's been so long.
Well, just ask how old they are. Then you'll find out.
I don't need to. If your profile picture is a picture of a wrestler, I don't need to know how old you are. I know how old you are.
I did do that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like 14, 15. I've
never done that.
And I made it Randy Orton. Speaking of him,
never done that.
Segueing back to the topic of that. Mr. Anderson was a fan of Legacy. Sarah, how dare you?
Okay, cool. No, I appreciate that. I said he could be the part of the 5%. But what I'm saying is people are acting like they've been begging for this for so long. I'm like, I think that you're more so like you want to see a top guy like Randy Orton versus a top guy like Cody Rhodes.
I just want to see it.
You were not. Me, on the other hand, I had Legacy action figures, honey. I had the 3-pack. Okay. I was a big old rat for Legacy back in the day. Okay. So I am excited about this eventually. I do think that we need heel Randy Orton, which I know a lot of people think that is what the case will be. I don't know though, because Randy has not been a heel for a few years. I think you have to. I think Cody needs to have like a heel that to go against that is not the Bloodline. Okay.
Or just someone who's not the Bloodline, period, and it can just be Randy Orton.
Yeah, a heel that is not the Bloodline.
Why do you want him to be a heel?
I don't want to see two guys that love and respect each other so much and we just want to fight it out because I'm champion. I don't want to see that. That stuff is like, it works every now and then, but it's like boring.
No, because that's fine.
Because most of the time they're not actually like fighting that hard, or the match isn't like ever really that great when they're just like, we just love each other. We just want to be here. It's like somebody who's like, I just want them both to have fun. That's like how it feels in a match like that. And I don't want that.
I think you can have not like, it doesn't have to be vicious. Like we don't have to see like a vicious heel out of Randy Orton, but like, he could just respect Cody, but then they kind of throw some jabs at each other and they make it personal. Like, oh, he said that, make it personal, and then have the feud. I just don't want to see Randy Orton start punting Cody.
I don't think I'm not asking for that. I never said bald.
See, that's Randy what I Orton. Think. When I think heel Randy Orton, I think of like vile.
No, see, I'm thinking more like person. I was your mentor. I'm the reason why you're here in this spot because I taught you everything I know. You got involved in my business, and then I felt like I had to repay you. And now look, like I just got taken out by the Bloodline for the millionth time. Blah 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 blah. Like I just feel like it's gonna be more so of like it's gonna be a foundation of frustration for their current story or whatever. I'm not saying 2009 Randy Orton. That's not what I mean at all.
That's just what when I hear. Well, not even that, but the 2020 or 16 one too.
Yeah.
Where he took out the Nature Boy. There was like attacking. He took out Jeff Hardy's 2016. We took out Jeff Hardy's like nose or ear ring or something. Oh, gauge. Yeah. Took out his gauge.
Yeah, his plugs. I know. It was. I also have the WrestleMania magazine of Cody Rhodes because there were 26 WWE WrestleMania magazine covers. And Cody Rhodes was on one of them. I have that one and I have it signed by Cody. So no big deal. I wanted to get it because it was his first cover of WWE magazine, even if it was like not, it was literally his render on the cover. That's basically what it was. But that was what it was for every single person, but there was 26 covers and I wanted to get his. So, yeah. I don't think Randy would beat Cody either. I think Cody's going to be champion for at least until WrestleMania. I don't see him losing anytime before that. I also feel like we're at a point where it's not similar to like if this person doesn't, if Cody doesn't beat Roman, then who's going to beat Roman? I feel like we are getting to a point though where it's like, who is going to beat Cody? You know, that's kind of like where we're at. I feel like there's nobody right now.
No one soon.
No one soon. So it's like until somebody rises in the ranks, I think. I'm
here for the story. I'm here for the why.
Yeah. Okay, so then we move on to LA Knight, who had his moment in the ring, and he is literally me because I am so sick of Logan Paul. Because once again, for anybody who doesn't want to believe me when I say things, which includes Mr. Pat over here, I said that Logan Paul was not going to be a full-time wrestler just because he was United States champion. And Pat was here in a live stream being like, I think he's going to take it more seriously now. I think he's going to show up and be here every single week because he's the champion. Like, he wants to be full-time now. Tell me about 2 title defenses. 2 title defenses since becoming champion.
Yeah, no, that number makes me look bad. I didn't realize that they would take this so half-assed with him being like champion.
I did. That's why.
Like 2 title defenses is crazy. It could be because of the whole 5 matches a card thing, but even that, like. No. You got to have him on SmackDown at least, maybe a match. Like, I don't know.
He literally never wrestles. Like, how can you have a guy who literally said that he would never wrestle basically on a Raw or a SmackDown, that he would only show up for pay-per-views, be your champion, and he doesn't even show up for pay-per-views? Like, what are we doing?
Is it I just don't care, though? Like, I
care because what if this means that, like, LA Knight doesn't win because they want to keep it on Logan Paul? You'd be okay with that?
See, that's anxiety coming in.
No, that's not.
This is what's gonna happen. It's LA Knight and Logan Paul. Like, this is all building so that LA Knight can win it, and then LA Knight will bring prestige back to the United States Championship.
You said that's what Logan Paul was gonna do.
Okay.
You said he would bring relevancy.
Yeah, next batter up. Who's the next batter up? It's LA Knight. And who is the hottest megastar in WWE? It is LA Knight. So,
well,
yeah,
we're pretty close to having that match be official, as LA Knight came out and talked his trash a little bit about Logan because, of course, he's never there. He said that Nick Aldis presented him with a contract for him to have that match against Logan Paul for the U.S. title at SummerSlam, which he already signed. LA Knight then signs it, so now we just have to wait for whenever Logan decides to show up, which will probably be the go-home SmackDown to SummerSlam. So we got to wait another 2 weeks. But yeah, there's no reason for LA Knight to lose this match at SummerSlam. There's no reason. Like, usually you can kind of try to think of like, okay, if this person loses, it's because of this. If this person wins, it's because of this. There's no reason. There's no legitimate, plausible reason, sensical reason for LA Knight to not be a champion. He should already be United States champion at this point. And people were talking about last year at SummerSlam that he won the Slim Jim Battle Royal. What did I do?
It said already United States.
Oh, sorry. Last year he won the Slim Jim Battle Royal and people went bananas like he just became WWE champion. People are still
going crazy.
Yeah. Nice drink you got going on there. No, I could just
hear
it.
All of that?
Yeah, I heard you pouring it. Yes.
Holy shit, this microphone's really good.
Anyway, so people are just as vocal, just as excited about LA Knight a year later. I cannot imagine how excited people are going to be with him winning. And it doesn't matter that they're going to be in Logan Paul's hometown. No one cares about you in your hometown, Honey. No one cares. You're still going to lose, and you need to. Yeah, Solo's not winning at SummerSlam. No. I have so much to say about Roman Reigns coming back at SummerSlam because, guys, I don't think it's happening, or I don't think it should happen. Yeah, I don't think it's happening. Okay, I don't think it should happen at SummerSlam. I know that's probably controversial. I'm not saying I don't want Roman back. No, but the thing is like, in my eyes, like, I don't want to get super into it, but like, I don't feel like the Bloodline 2.0 have done enough to warrant Roman to come back yet. Like, they still have 2 more SmackDowns until SummerSlam, but like, Solo losing at SummerSlam, how does that prompt Roman to come back? Like, it would only be like, see, you're not the tribal chief, but like, what? Okay, neither are you, bro. You lost your belt after almost 4 years to Cody Rhodes. So like, why would you be coming back and being like, ha ha ha, Solo, you lost? Okay, so did you, Roman. That's why you left. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the Bloodline 2.0 haven't really gotten to that next level yet to make it be like, oh, Roman's coming back now because of that. You know what I mean? It almost would have been better if they like held off the stuff with Paul Heyman. Like, if they had done other stuff and then maybe at the go home SmackDown or something to SummerSlam, then they did that to Paul Heyman. Oh, okay. Now Roman's coming back the next night at SummerSlam. But I feel like they just haven't done enough, because why would he come back to be like, I'm here to save Cody? Why would he give a shit about what they're doing to Cody?
That's like, yeah.
That's why I feel like I don't know that they've done enough yet for Roman to come back, because Roman, you assume, is going to want to come back to reclaim his status as the tribal chief. So wouldn't Solo and them have to do something that's so bad that would make Roman want to come back and take that away from him? I don't feel like they've done anything that would make Roman be like, yeah, I need to be back now because you've taken it too far. Like, I just don't. He's going after people that he already beat. He beat Kevin Owens multiple times as champion. He was part of the reason Randy Orton was on the shelf for 18 months. He beat Cody Rhodes and then he lost to Cody Rhodes. But like, I don't know. That's just my thought process on it. I feel like there's a better way for him to come back. The thing
it's more about the. This is right. I see Mr. Anderson saying, but to me, it's not more
hurt though.
No, he's expected to be back.
He was legit injured though, so we can't just act like, oh, he should have been able to come back. He was legit injured. That was why he was written off TV.
Yeah, but this is not a feud about, like, I have a feeling that what is going to make Roman come back at SummerSlam has nothing to do with Cody Rhodes, really, but it's all about what we're seeing with the vignettes and the treatment of the tribal necklace. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. What the sacred name of it, and it's more about that and the acknowledge me, and him pretty much being a fake ass tribal chief, a fraud, essentially.
But at the same time, Roman said Solo was going to be the next tribal chief. He said that they were grooming him and teaching him to become the next tribal chief. So now you're going to complain because of when he decided he was going to be the next tribal chief? You left.
Yes.
You left. You left after you lost your title. You took your ball and you went home. So Solo said, okay, Roman, you're not around. We need somebody to lead our family. I'm going to take control now. So to me, that's just, I don't know. In my eyes, that's not enough. Like, what is Roman going to do? I'm the real tribal chief. No, I'm the real tribal chief.
No, it's like, you make the decisions. You're not the tribal chief. Like, he's taking it too far.
I don't think he's taking it too far.
1,000% is.
Oh, I don't agree at all.
In the bloodline eyes, he is. In the wrestling fans' eyes, no.
No, I don't think I don't think in general he's taken it too far. They were grooming him to be this exact person, and yes, they were.
But it's not. Yeah, but it's not. Maybe it's about him, like, and how he's doing and bringing these people, like,
their family.
Those weren't the orders. Exactly. But Paul Heyman even said that him and the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, and I did not allow these men in the bloodline, and he's bringing them in. Like, he's doing stuff.
Yeah, but if they're still family members, then why does it matter? If they're still in the family tree, then why does it matter that he brought them in?
because it's going against the real tribal chief's wishes.
I don't know.
He's supposed to be there to handle business. That's WWE wrestling, like SmackDown, not not making orders of the tribal chief. Like it's
I don't know.
Missing it.
No, I'm not missing it. I just don't think that it's gotten as bad as I guess some people think.
And that's
and
the
this
other
is what
thing.
I've been saying too. We almost need The Rock to be involved or something. I think that would prompt more of a reason for Roman to come back. I don't know. I'm not into it yet. To me, it gives me a similar feeling to what we said about Rhea coming back. I feel Rhea came back too soon for the Liv and Dominic storyline because I don't think Dominic took it far enough yet with Liv for Rhea to be like, oh, I need to come back now. That's like the same feeling that I get with Roman. I just want to see more from the bloodline. I want it to feel like, okay, that is pushing it too far. That was the final straw. Roman he's biting at the bit now. He'll be back next week. Or you know what I mean? Like that's the feeling that I want to get. And I'm just not there yet. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I feel like a lot of people want Roman because sometimes we know that you miss things that are now gone that you didn't appreciate while they were there. So I think that's part of it. I think the other part is, of course, people liked having Roman around. There's big Roman fans that are sad that he's gone and he's no longer champion. But I also think that people are just chanting it because they're like, everybody is saying that we should be chanting Roman. We want Roman. So we're going to do it too. Like, I think people are not as invested in the Bloodline 2.0 story as we see online every week. People make fun of Solo and making fun of Tonga Loa, and they're just like, this ain't it. So they want Roman back, and I feel like that's not enough. Like that's not a reason for Roman to come back. If we're talking about the storyline, I just feel like they haven't done enough yet for it to make sense. I could be 100% wrong. I'm not saying that this is the right way to think. I'm just saying I want to see them do more that makes it, in my eyes, feel like, yeah, okay, Roman's coming back. That's why I said it's almost like if they had held off on doing what they did to Paul Heyman. And like if Roman is inevitably coming back at SummerSlam, they should have waited to do the Paul Heyman thing. Because the Paul Heyman thing to me feels like that could have been a final straw. Like you don't touch the wise man. You don't do that. Like that's my guy. That's my right-hand man. It's almost unfortunate timing that they did that when they did it. That felt like that would have been like Roman's in the back right now. He's on his private jet. Like he's coming right now. But they didn't do that, obviously. So, and yes, we do believe that it's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline in War Games. Hence why I also think that Cody will be on Team Bloodline. But that's just my opinion. What? Oh.
Yes.
What? Okay. Anyway, this is just a quick little shout out to Pretty Deadly. I don't care. You guys don't really like Pretty Deadly, but I do. And I just want to say shout out to you, boys. I love you so much. And I cannot. Okay, this is the thing. If you want to know how much of a fan somebody is of a certain wrestler or tag team, whatever, I was watching SmackDown. I didn't know that they were on SmackDown because everything that I had seen, I didn't watch SmackDown until Saturday today. No one had said anything to me about Pretty Deadly being on. I didn't see that they were in a match. I saw Kit post a picture of them backstage, so I didn't think anything of it. When they popped up on the screen, I cannot tell you how big of a smile I got on my face. And then when I was telling my sister about how Pretty Deadly were actually on SmackDown, I could not stop smiling. Like I was so happy.
They were so awesome. It was so well done.
Yeah, so I just need to reiterate that we need Pretty Deadly the musical because they will
stand and deliver.
Yes, they will. That's all they do, actually. What?
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven waiting for Nick Aldis outside as well with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then to top it all off, Naomi, after her match, comes over and they talk about Bianca and Jade.
Mm-hmm.
They mention that Nick Aldis ain't even there. And the whole crowd. Like, that's what I'm saying, the continuity of these shows. It's so well done, and it just makes it so just fun to watch.
Well, and I also like that, this little Pretty Deadly the musical, that kind of felt like a one-off thing where it was just an excuse to get them on TV, and, to have like an entertaining backstage segment. But I love that they were like, okay, that might have been the case, but let's keep going with it. Like, I am happy that they're going to keep going with it, because I could honestly see them doing it. I could see them doing Pretty Deadly the musical. So, and I don't care, y'all. I will be front and center. Okay, I will buy the first ticket. I will be right there for the debut show. Funny. But anyway, you guys need to get on the Pretty Deadly hype train. Okay, I've been saying this for so long, and you guys don't jump on the hype train, so I guess I'm saying it to myself. But
it's very fun on the hype train, the Pretty Deadly one at least. Yeah. I like that one's fun.
I'm the conductor. Okay, so anyway, we already kind of talked about it, but Blair Davenport was finally featured on SmackDown. She had a match against Naomi, which is a pretty good match, I would say, for a pretty good opponent for her to have in a match. And they also had her have a little video package.
They gave her a vignette.
Yeah, which was nice. She is so badass, and she's just so cool. So I'm like, I want to see her featured more. And we saw this segment with her in the back where she wanted to shake hands with Naomi and was like, oh, the better woman won, like, blah, 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 blah. And you honestly I was like, all right, they're going this cornball route with her.
I took the bait. I
took the bait. I was like, yeah, I thought they were going with like that with her. And I was like, God, Remy. Yeah, look what you did to Gunther. Look what you did.
Oh, did Remy just...
No, she's wiping her face on my laptop and pushing it. Okay, I love you, girly, but you can't do that. Bye. Jeez. God. Okay. Anyway, I took the bait and totally thought they were going that route with her, and I was disappointed because I'm like, this is what they do. They always do that with the NXT people, acting like they're rookies and that they just need to be like, oh, hail the veterans, And I was really glad to see that the second that Naomi thought that Blair had walked away, she came back and took her down and was like, F you, glow stick. And I was like, yes, queen. So I'm interested to see what Blair does, because I think she's not American, so she's a cool wrestler, obviously, in my eyes. But she has such an interesting look, too. Like, nobody else in the women's division looks like her. So I feel that's even cool, makes her cooler, Like,
it does. I like her look. I like the entrance with the hood, the way they present her with the music. I'm pretty sure she has the smoke coming out on the entrance side. Like, that's how you build a character. That's how you build yourself as a wrestler. And I was very nervous that they were going to do that as well. And just that was going to be the end. And she's going to shake her. But I noticed something, that when she went out to shake her hand, Blair put the hand out that was for the injured shoulder, for Naomi's injured shoulder to grab and whatnot. So then I was like, okay, something's up here. And then boom, what did she do? Attacks her from the back on the injured shoulder. So like, that to me is amazing.
Yeah.
Heel work done. That's how you build it.
And going against a girl like Naomi, I think is, like I said, like a good feud for her to have, because Naomi isn't like a mid-card girl that like no one really cares about, you know what I mean? Like, no, she has a big fan base and people really like her. She's really good in the ring, so it's not even that is a question or anything. So I feel like if they're going to try to establish Blair as a heel in the SmackDown women's locker room, then going against somebody like Naomi is the perfect way for her right now. So I'm hoping that we get to see more of this. I don't have a lot of faith right now, especially with the SmackDown NXT people that came up. So we'll see. But yeah.
I'll see.
Yes. Anyway, okay. Then we get to the main event, which was DIY versus A-Town Down Under for the tag team championships. It was a rematch from a week ago? It was before Monday.
Yeah, about a week ago.
And this was a good match. But again, you knew that it was going to be a good match because all of the people in the match are good. You know what's crazy to me? This is completely unrelated, but I saw this tweet. Because everybody's been talking about, well, not everybody, but a lot of people have been talking about Austin Theory turning babyface, and it's kind of looking less and less likely every week now. I'm like, what are we doing? But somebody posted on Twitter that anybody who wants Austin Theory to be a babyface is basically asking for Alex Riley 2.0. And I don't
That's it's an interesting. Okay.
I disagree.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either. I think it's because Alex Riley, like, he had the look, he had the potential. He was not good on the mic. And he was a bit green in the ring, but that was he was in NXT, when NXT was a show.
And he was the Miz. Yeah, and
yeah, he was with the
Miz's
Miz.
sidekick.
I think the thing is, though, is part of his problem was his character. I mean, it was literally like, I'm a high school jock. Like, I wear a Letterman's jacket. Like, that was as deep as his character went. And then it became, I'm the Miz's sidekick. It just didn't work. I don't think that I don't know. I don't see Austin Theory on that same level. I think that he's better in the ring. He's better on the mic.
That's what I mean.
And like, I don't see that at all.
That's why I'm confused.
I could see that comparison if Triple H and the writing team did not handle Austin Theory as a babyface in the right way. I could see it coming off like their attempt at making Alex Riley a babyface when they were trying to have him go against the Miz. I could see that, but I would like to believe that if they were going to have Theory have a complete change of character, that they wouldn't treat him that way, if that makes sense. Like, I would like to think that they would actually try to make him into a star. But I just thought that was such a weird comparison. I was like, I didn't even know that people knew about Alex Riley anymore. Like,
that's a name from the ether. I haven't heard that name except in top 10 of lists of people with backstage beef or something like that. Like,
yeah. I liked him because I watched NXT. I even had I got a Letterman's jacket to look like him.
Say it to my face.
Yeah, he had a banger song.
Banger song.
Yeah. Yeah, now I don't know what he's doing. He was wrestling in the indies for a while, but I don't know what he's doing.
He's
now.
done. He's done. He's retired.
Kevin Kiley is doing whatever. I don't know. So DIY, they of course retained their titles, as I'm sure most people thought. But at the end of that match, Mr. Jacob Fatu decides, you know what? No. You know what? No. Okay? No. And he just comes out and demolishes everybody. And that is what has Solo come out. And I just am begging Solo, please stop bleaching your hair and just dye it to your natural hair color. You would look so much more badass. You would probably be taken so much more seriously if you did not have this cheesy yellow patch on the top of your head. He would look so much more badass with dark
that's
hair,
your opinion.
in my opinion. Yeah.
That's your opinion.
Yes. So he comes out with his banger music, because I would also say Solo Sikoa has an incredible theme. He is also flanked by Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, who everybody.
The Tongans.
Yeah, the Tongans. Apparently, Tonga Loa is just a clown. He's kind of a clown. I'm sorry. How do you botch? How do you botch a low blow? People said he hit Kevin in the taint the first time.
Sir, do you know what happened to him before he had to hit that low blow?
I'm just telling you. I'm not the one saying it, but he did have to hit him twice. Okay.
Yeah, the man didn't know where he was probably because he got Topi or suicide dive.
I'm just telling you.
Into the announce table, his head going back.
I'm just telling you what the people are saying.
And the peeps are wrong. As your champion peeps, I would like to inform you that we need to have a little bit of sympathy for this guy because he got his head doinked, probably seeing stars, and then knew he missed and then just went again. Hell of a, you know what? Proud of you for going back for a second time.
I mean, I guess at least Kevin was like, no, bro, you're going to do it right. Because he could have tried to sell it and been like, oh, he got me. But it really was his taint. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Sometimes you just gotta hit the taint.
Between, have you seen that clip of John Cena on the Tonight Show when they were doing like Mad Libs? It's
No.
like the taint has like an actual scientific name. And when Jimmy Fallon asked him to like name a body part, he said whatever that was. And then Jimmy asked him what it was. He was like, "Is that like the like in the middle?" And then John Cena's like, "It's the space between." I was like, "Oh my god, John, I love you." Anyway,
he's a funny guy.
yeah, he really is. So, anyway, after Jacob Fatu demolishes everybody, the rest of the Bloodline 2.0 come out and they decide that Solo is gonna ask everybody to acknowledge him, which we found out earlier in the show when they had that vignette, and Solo was like, "You're gonna acknowledge me," blah blah blah. So he does his full blown Roman Reigns impression, asks the audience to
Awesome.
acknowledge him, which they answer by saying, "We want Roman." He then says that it is time for Cody Rhodes to acknowledge him, which then has Cody come out, of course. They go back and forth a little bit, and Cody gives him what he wants, which he claims that he wants it too. So they will be facing off against each other for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. Then they surround him like a pack of hyenas. And Cody's like, "You know what? I'm going to take my fate in my own hands and I'm going to throw the first punch." So that's what he does, which then has Randy Orton come out, and it just quickly does not work. Okay,
it evolved
numbers
so
game.
fast.
Yeah, the numbers game did not work out. So we see Cody get all tangled up in the ropes, and they really try to slaughter Randy Orton on live TV. So then they put the tribal necklace on Solo, and it's like, "Oh yeah, Solo, he's like feeling it. He's like, yes, I am the tribal chief. Yes, call me king. Yes." That's what he said.
Right.
And
verbatim.
That's what I heard.
Oh, okay.
That's what I heard.
That's what you heard. Okay.
Yeah. So I want to gauge your excitement level for Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, because a lot of what I'm seeing is a lack thereof.
To me, I'm not excited for Cody versus Solo. I'm excited for Bloodline 2.0 versus Cody. And it has nothing to do with Solo. Really, it's more about, I understand that this is WWE putting Solo in a main event picture to get his feet wet, kind of like dipping your toe in the water. That's fine. I know he's not going to win, but I want to see him in this match to see how well he does. I'm more excited for what is going to happen with the Bloodline 2.0 after SummerSlam, because maybe Roman Reigns coming back is not what we want for the Bloodline, but it's what we want for Cody Rhodes, because then it gives Cody an out that the only people feuding with the Bloodline are themselves. Then Cody can go for the WWE, or go to defend the WWE Championship, Undisputed Championship, that is, against anyone else. And maybe it is even a Randy Orton, or a maybe couple 2 week ones, or ones that are just on SmackDown or something like that. That's what Cody needs to do in his next step, and that's where the Bloodline. So that's why, like, the whole match and Roman coming back, I'm not excited or pissed off on either end of the spectrum. I'm playing the long game and wanting to see how the roads are going to dive or split, how we're going to see that fork in the middle.
You know what would be insane? So I think most people are not really excited about this match, simply because it's not even because it's Solo Sikoa, although I think with some people it is. They just aren't buying into what they're trying to do with Solo, which that's that's your prerogative.
That's your opinion.
I think in general it's just like, I think people are kind of just sick of the Bloodline versus Cody at this point. It's like, okay, like there's just not a whole lot left for them to do for people to be interested in. But one way to be really interesting, and the only reason why I say it is because it's SummerSlam. They try to treat SummerSlam as like the summer's version of WrestleMania. What if The Rock shows up at SummerSlam?
Someone had a comment about that.
Oh, really? The reason why is because, as I said, I'm still waiting for a legitimate reason for Roman to want to come back. If we assume that Solo is going to lose at SummerSlam, why would Roman come back? Right? So if The Rock shows up and does something, maybe that could prompt it. Like, I'm just trying to think of, like, what if there's like a hidden surprise, you know, because The Rock probably could do a one-off appearance at SummerSlam. He doesn't even have to do anything physical, you know. He said that he couldn't be an active wrestler this year the way that he was a little bit towards the, you know, at the beginning towards going to WrestleMania, but he probably could do a one-off in Cleveland, you know what I mean? I wouldn't rule it out. I'm not saying that I've heard anything. I just was thinking out loud, like, what if that? Just because we've said that it would make the whole storyline so much more fascinating if we did find out that The Rock is the one who put this new bloodline together, because it does seem to reflect the final boss version of The Rock and the type of bloodline that he would put together as opposed to what Roman Reigns would do. So it's like, okay, but when are we going to see that introduction? Like, when are we going to have The Rock come out and like admit that he was behind this? You know what I mean? Like, if they're going to be bringing back Roman, it feels like they have to have The Rock come back before that. But just to reveal that hidden thing before Roman comes back. I don't know. I'm just trying to think out loud. Another way to just like make this whole thing more interesting, because, you know, as I said, I don't think that people are really excited about this match simply because you already think you know what's going to happen. You already think that Cody is going to win and Solo is going to lose and that Roman is going to show up in some way. The only way that it would be shocking is if Solo won. That I'm almost like here for the chaos. Like, if we're like, and that's me as a Cody Rhodes fan. The only reason is because then that's more reason for Roman to come back. I'm grasping at everything. Okay.
You're grasping at like coffee straw.
Because I feel like I'm very consistent with what I like in wrestling, but most people, including you, make excuses or like don't require the same things and like everything. So a lot of people are like, it's fine, everything is going fine, it makes sense for Roman to come back. But if like the situation were somebody else, it's like you would be like, I don't think so. Like, I try to
do that for everybody. Like, I try to be down the middle for that for everybody.
But you agreed that Rhea didn't have enough to come back yet. I just don't see how the bloodline have done enough to make it seem like there's been enough for Roman to come back. We're not going to see eye to eye on that. I just think that they're in the same boat. And I think most people think Roman's coming back at SummerSlam because that had been the only date that he had been advertised for after WrestleMania. So I think people are very much honing in on that, but we haven't had any confirmation. There's been no news,
none,
no inside information, no leaks about Roman coming back at SummerSlam. So I'm also trying to like get my mind out of that possibility because there hasn't been any rumblings about that. People are just remembering he was on the SummerSlam like roster, you know, promo or whatever back in March. And people are just like assuming, okay, that means that's it. But I'm pretty sure he's been removed. Like, he's been removed from that advertisement. So I don't know. I don't know. I think that it's going to be interesting. I think it's more of a reason to actually watch SummerSlam and makes you want to see this match, because even if you think that you know what's going to happen, we don't really know what's going to happen.
You have no idea.
Solo could win. Solo could win. Roman could come back. The Rock could show up. Cody shows up, or Cody wins, or Cody almost loses because Randy gets involved or something. You know what I mean? Maybe Roman helps Cody retain. Who knows? There's like so many of these different possibilities.
DiBiase could fly in through Skycam.
That's not happening. He's getting the Brett Favre treatment right now. Let's stop. Did you not know about that?
No, I was gonna allude to.
He's got legal problems. He's
in jail. I know
fraud.
that.
Yeah,
I know that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Skycam.
Oh yeah, but no.
In a cell with his bunkmate, it'll be hilarious. Like, I don't know.
No,
that's the chaos I want. And if we're not gonna get that, then fucking feed me Roman and Solo feuding over the sacred necklace. I don't want to butcher.
But that's the thing too, that it's gonna be so funny. Is like people don't like Solo And I get, okay, so I think the
But
main
why
issue
don't they like Solo? Why?
Okay, I don't know why they don't like Solo. I think people are we've talked about this. I think that people are comparing him too much to what Roman Reigns did as if they're at all close. Roman Reigns has been in the WWE for over 10 years. He was
So
in
different.
FCW, NXT, you know what I mean? Like he was a guy who has come a long way because people are not remembering he was not a talker in the Shield because he was so bad. Like that is why he never spoke. Like he was the enforcer the way that Solo Sikoa was in the Bloodline. But they're expecting Solo to somehow be like the cloned version of Roman, even though
But
we've talked about
why?
this as well, that Roman still wasn't that great on the mic every single night as the tribal chief. He wasn't. There he was almost better in those random like talking to the camera at the end of Smackdown. Like those were hotter promos than anything he said on the mic for the most part, you
Because
know?
that's him. That's him.
Um but like people aren't remembering that Solo isn't he's not new, but he's still relatively new. And he was
He's
put in
fresh.
a big position to try and like take over the bloodline after Roman, which like hello, I think I compared it to like
Yeah,
the next
it's just
quarterback after Tom Brady. You know?
yeah.
Um
Like,
I think that the main issue that I've been seeing with people though, which I can agree, is that they went about building Solo in the wrong way. Like you had him beat John Cena, but then you had him lose like every match after that, and then you want people to take him seriously as the tribal chief. Like that's kind of problematic because people don't forget what he was doing before Roman left and he took over as the tribal chief. You know what I mean? People know that he was on this long losing streak. And then it's like, oh, but we're supposed to take him as like this like
yeah, but doesn't that
serious.
make it even more ironic that he is calling himself the tribal chief?
I don't know. I think people this is the thing I just said, like I said, I think people just pick and choose. They pick and choose when
And it's
things matter
fickle.
and when things don't. And it's
They're
like
fickle pickles.
that's why when I talk about things and I'll say, "Oh, I don't love this," or "I don't love it," or "I shouldn't love this because I would complain if it was this." It's like at least I can admit that, you know what I mean? But other people can't. They just can't admit when they're being biased or when they're being fickle. And it's like I know that I can admit when I'm being that way.
You're being a fickle pickle. We're calling those fans the fickle pickles.
Yeah, that's fine. I just
I
think
can't.
people
It's
just
too
need to be
good.
they need to be consistent. That's all. I just think like I said it to somebody who he's a wrestling fan, but I don't think he watches like every single week, but he said something about Solo like not being great or whatever, and I responded and I was like, you guys need to really cut him some slack. Like you need
Yeah.
to cut Solo slack. Like I think he's doing as good of a job as he possibly can right now. Not to mention he's flanked by people who just joined WWE. You're not going to have the same reaction to them the way that you would if it was the Usos or if it was Roman Reigns. Like
You're
it's just
not
not going to be the
exactly.
same. So but yeah, that is a hill I'm willing to die on because, you know, Solo Sikoa was my tribal chief a year ago.
Jacob, we was. I will give you credit there. Jacob Fatu is my next tribal chief now. So that's where I'm ending it.
I loved when SRS was like, just wait until Jacob Fatu starts doing media rounds and everyone just falls in love with him because he's like the nicest guy ever. And I'm like, it's so
Really
funny
is.
because he's like this menace in the bloodline, but like everybody loves him and they say that like he is the nicest person to interview. Not to mention he has 7 kids. Imagine how fun he is as a dad.
Could you imagine those family reunions?
He also
There's probably 120 people there.
Well, and that's just like the immediate family. You know what I mean? That's like the grandparents and their kids. That's it.
Like it's insane.
I think he's also like got 7 kids and he's like only 30 or 32. Like he's pretty young to have like a whole basketball team, but
yeah, and subs.
Anyway, that was Smackdown.
That was Smackdown.
Yes.
And thank you to all the people on YouTube.
Yes.
Who watched. We really appreciate you if you're watching on YouTube because now we know who the real peeps are.
Yes,
especially
you're the
on
only
Saturday.
one now.
Yeah, like I'm so used to seeing Twitter numbers and now it's not. So yeah, now follow them. Now you doesn't matter. So if you're on YouTube, you are already maybe tuned in here because you're scrolling YouTube, and I popped up here. So you haven't subscribed. I get it. Well, now you can. All right. So hit that subscribe button down below and bell notification to know every time we post, because we do post some videos sometimes. I'll be posting some cool videos this weekend of the bad gal herself. So tune in and get excited for those. We'll be back on Tuesday for the Raw Rewind, and talk about Mommy's return. See what happens there. Cannot wait for it. And oh yeah, you're already down there subscribing. So go follow us on all social media platforms at Patty Pitts on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. I'm using Threads now. After these shenanigans, we might be going over to Threads. And and follow Sara on Twitter at smarshxo and at smarsh _ on Instagram.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that you have two, so I don't know which one. So go and follow us on those. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you Tuesday. Yes. Yes.